Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Search Called Life. And in this video, I'm going to talk about my point of view of a debate, that I happened to, come across, and I listened to it for some time. And the debate was about the big question: does God exist? So I think that's a question that has been there ever since the human evolution happened. Ever since humans began to think, you know, they had ever since humans developed this thought process, and they must have wanted the oldest human that who are we, who made us, all that, when they became intelligent. So that's quite valid question. And in that debate that I was listening to, the people who were debating, they gave their point of views. There was one side, there was an atheist, and on the other side there was a person from a specific religion. It could have been any. I don't want to name who were they, where I saw everything, but because the main thing is the question. And so in my point of view, I think that well, because first, if I talk about how this thought comes into picture, that it depends on, first of all, it depends on the family background, the background where you were born, and what kind of talks are happening there, what kind of rituals are being followed. And then, but definitely sometimes one wonders that is it really necessary? Is it really do we need to do all these rituals and everything, or do we, and who are we, like, why is this happening? Why are we sometimes sad, and why are we sometimes happy? Sometimes some people are rich, some people are poor, some people are they seem always happy, some people are not always happy. So one thinks, but then I think gradually one begins to adapt to the situation, adapt to the environment, and then one thing happens, then another thing happens, which kind of shakes a person very much. And that is that when one comes across society and sees there are so many other faiths, religion, and everybody is apparently saying that they are the one, they are the best. And this is what, especially because religion can be a tool, which is used by politicians, powerful people, to for their benefit, to get votes, to get power, all that. So, and primarily all this information is kind of handled by them, as of now. These days, obviously the social media and everything is very powerful, but back in those days it was news, newspapers. So that questions still, one still wonders, keeps wondering, that does God exist? And then one come across scriptures, then somebody gives their the knowledge of the scripture, and some other person would say, no, their God said this and everything. So the person who is new to this world and has become an adult and has grown up, but still confused, that does God exist, and who is God, whose God is better, all that. So I think, in my point of view, one who is a follower, it is difficult for that to find God. But one who is a seeker, there's a possibility, can the person can find the existence of God. And then there's another kind of people who believe that science is everything. Then they try to find a logic, they try to find a proof of God. But then every day we see so many people are dying, wars are happening, worse things are happening, people are getting born. I mean, there are many lives are coming and many lives are going. All this thing continues for hundreds of years. So the question still remains there. But in my point of view, I think that this is something one has to find out, irrespective of being whatever religion, or whatever faith, whichever faith one follows. But if one is a seeker, can find the existence of God. And definitely, and I believe that I would be on the side of that. Yes, God exists, but who is God? How does he look? Everything that will be something that still needs to be found. I mean, that will be the lifetime journey, maybe many lifetimes journey. So one has to be, in my point of view, like if I summarize, one has to be a seeker. Only through seeking one can find God, one can find the existence, one can find a trace of God. But a follower can just be embroiled in these things, and how can one seek? Well, that is something, it is told many times, it had been there all the time, that is through the journey of inside, the journey inward. All the mystics say so, all guru, all good people, the good people say this, that you start the search, you find it yourself, and that can be done through meditation. That can be, the meditation is the path. So that way, meditation is such an important thing, such an important process. But again, meditation is something that one cannot do when somebody wants to. It can just happen. That's the beauty of it. Otherwise, there are ways, there are methods, but one has to, and again, this has to be an individual journey. It cannot be for a group, for the entire world. So every single human being has to find this out. That is basically the goal, the ultimate goal of life. And one has to find out themselves. This is the beauty, that nobody else can find God for you. If I'm doing my practice, if I'm trying to do whatever through meditation, I'm trying to get my answers, only I will be getting the answers. My methods can be different, your methods can be different. So some basic methods like sitting in a position, or following a certain food habit, or that can be there, but it cannot guarantee, because if one way, one path is made to find God, it will be it would be a partiality from God's side, and God cannot be partial, because God is equal for everybody, not just humans, but for every living thing. And science, on the other hand, has I cannot quote anybody, but I think that they have found out that every object even has the molecules, the atoms, electron, neutron, and photon, right? So everything has some sort of energy, whether it's live or just a thing, but it has some energy. And that is true. I completely believe, and uh, I can, I can prove it, but that is something later. And so they say that everything is, this atoms, molecules, and everything. And in a way, it is true as well, because when you try to experiment this, you know, when you try to do the experiment yourself, you can figure it out. So for example, one experiment I can tell that, for example, if you keep somewhere I heard Sadhguru telling this, showing this rather, that he put he held a mala of rudraksh, and it was, if it was round and clockwise, and it was good. If it was anti-clockwise, but it was a bad energy. That's what he said. But I'll tell you that you do this and you tell you just think in your mind that to go round to clockwise, it will go clockwise. And if you in your mind just think that it should go anti-clockwise, it will go anti-clockwise. Just do this experiment and let me know. So I would just say that whichever faith, whichever religion one follows, first of all, there has to be harmony. There has to be this race of that my religion is better cannot be true, and this race of somebody making others part of yours, I don't think that will lead to anywhere. And the third thing is that one, like I said, once one starts to seek, then can find out the answers or get the answers. But a follower, I don't think so. So that's about it. Thank you so much.